Welcome to another day of accountability where I talk about what it is that I'm learning in terms of data analysis. Since yesterday we talked about the different data types, right? And the structures, which is basically structured data types, unstructured and semi-structured. Today I'd like to talk about the different file formats. I believe that these file formats fall into different kinds, which is your structured and semi-structured, right? Structured meaning that we have your columns and rows. So we have CSVs, and then we have Microsoft Excel sheets or XML spreadsheets, right? And then we also have PDF documents, which stand for portable document file. And then we have XML, right? Which is extensive markup language, which reminds me of HTML, but we'll get to that later. Then we also have JSON, which is JavaScript object notation. You know, I did a bit of programming, you feel me, during my day on Free Code Camp. I'm not gonna lie, the algorithms made me fall off, but nonetheless, I'll master the discipline in order to complete that when the time comes. So let's go into each file type. Pardon me. First things first, we're going to talk about the delimited text files. These are files used to store data as text. Each value is separated by a delimiter, right? Which, in the case of a CSV, the C stands for comma, separated value. The T stands for tab, and then separated value. A delimiter is, let me read my notes, a sequence of one or more characters for specifying the boundaries between independent entities or values. Then we have Excel sheets, right? Usually a Microsoft Excel sheets. So an Excel spreadsheet is open and accessible, and an Excel spreadsheet supposedly limits the potential for storing malicious code, which is something that I didn't know, but it's actually pretty interesting. And it uses and saves all functions in Excel. You know about functions, you press this and that, boom, blah, blah. It can do the sum of, it can calculate, it can change everything or nothing, so on and so forth. Next up, we have XML, which I believe is extensive markup language, which is a markup language with set rules for encoding data. It's self-descriptive. It's similar to HTML, except it doesn't have tags, which makes it readable to humans and machines alike. This makes it simpler to share data between systems because it's also platform independent and programming language independent. Then we have PDF document, which stands for portable document file. I never knew that until doing this course, which is interesting. And this was developed by Adobe. Usually it's used within law or finance, supposedly, but yeah, we've seen a lot of other use cases. And it can also be used for filling in forms. The greatest thing about it is that it is accessible to a lot of devices, so it can be viewed the same across a lot of different platforms. Last but not least, we have JSON, which is used for transmitting data across the web. It's a language-independent data format. It also reads in any programming language. It is easy to use. It's also compatible with a range of browsers. I mean, it is JavaScript. It's also one of the best tools for sharing data. Actually, now I think about it, especially in one of my programming learning days, yeah, JavaScript and databases go hand in hand. Well, JSON go hand in hand because your database definitely at times would use JSON. And also when it comes to object-oriented programming, it's pretty much almost like a database. Well, till a certain degree, there is a part of it that's like creating databases. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Thanks for watching if you got this far. Thanks for watching me fumble through this, but nonetheless, yeah, this is actually very insightful because this gives a frame of mind as to, okay, I have the specific data, right? It's been extracted where it's been extracted from. This is the type of data that it is. This is the type of specific file that it will go in, which I find really interesting in knowing that, okay, since it's in this type of file, it'll have this type of use case used by these specific types of people within the company. You know, whether it's your programmers or whether it's your digital marketers such as Sana, who's gonna clickety click 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 on that CSV, or whether it's your HR with the PDF documents, or your lawyer, or you know, there's varied use cases for it, which I find pretty interesting in understanding as the end user. Now I'm getting to understand it as, per se, a person who will be extracting that data. So yeah, besides for that, thanks for watching. Much appreciated.